Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. And I was thinking, the mind of a free individual must be so different than the mind that of a slave. I was thinking about some of the people who came out of Africa. Many of them could have come out of freedom. Many of them could have come out of wealth, but for some strange reason find themselves in the midst of a situation like slavery. And I can imagine being transported to another foreign land for servitude, that it can send one through many changes. And I'm forced to believe that there were those and will always be those who are so strong-willed that before they would be a slave, they would be dead and buried in their graves. And would, literally would. But for those whose constitution is not that strong, they might find themselves trying to hang on to life, hoping and believing that one day, somewhere, freedom would come back. And they would go into this institution of slavery with a conduct unbecoming that of perhaps what they originated, but nevertheless conforming. And I'm sure that their offspring, their children, they would teach their children some of the things about their history. Perhaps, then again, it might be a complicated matter, depending upon some of the challenges that they have to deal with in this institution. But I believe they would find some way to communicate some of their history, at least for some time. But as time passed, and those who were directly from Africa and other parts of the world, as they began to die off, as the message that they had given to their offspring is still shared but begins to be weakened because of time, that living under an institution of slavery, which one day might have been slavery, but over time becomes something that's normal, something that's expected, and anything other than that, the conduct of slavery, is not expected and would be an anomaly. So what used to be a detriment now has become a blessing in the eyes of those who experience it or are rooted in the experience. And as I think of this, I think about how it took change. It took a movement to make a difference, to get that difference. Otherwise, that difference would have never come. But it is, and change came. Now, for a time, we've lived under these changes for so long. We've always wanted more, wished for more, hoping that it would come, but we are settled in the idea that it may not come in our lifetime. And yet, change is the echo throughout the land. It's taken and will take a movement of people who says it's time for a change, got not only a vision, but a map for the change. This is the day. But if you consider those two, what can it be like to have lost all thoughts, all understanding whatsoever of heaven, or paradise, or living where your dreams come true, living your dream? It's so far from that. So how can we imagine change, a movement that would take us back to a haunting desire to reclaim true life? That's what I've always been about for the past 30-something years. And that's what I'm about today. I have hoped and wished that we could all get there together, but for one reason or another, we all got our own stumbling blocks. And we can only overcome them ourselves, and nothing anyone else do really can do it for us. And so I have finally awakened to the fact that I must overcome my own stumbling block, and that would be as sufficient as I can be, but it's 100%. So, having said that, I'm going to leave it. Bye-bye.